Welcome to our first International Students and Studies show. Yay!
Yay!
Actually, I came back with this show for the first time in a year. I was here in 2023 and I was at a news station working, and then I came back for my grad school. So I came back with International Students and Studies show again. And my DJ name will be Plain Jane. There's a song called Plain Jane. I was debating in between good old Jane and Plain Jane, but I think I like Plain Jane.
Okay.
So my DJ name's gonna be Plain Jane, and this is a recording show, and it'll be released tomorrow on Wednesday. And we have our first guest of our International Students and Studies show. Welcome!
Yay!
Yay! So tell me your name, major, and year. And I know you're an exchange student. So tell me why you've decided to come on to this show today.
Okay, so my name is Liz Kim, and I came from South Korea. My major is mass media, and my year is marked. My year marked here is freshman, but to be honest, back in Korea, I'm senior.
Right, right.
Yeah.
That's how exchange student works.
Yes, and I came here because back in Korea, my first major is English, so I came here to study more English because it's better to speak English in like the country that is first language is English. Well, not first language. Anyway, and then also like here, I found the mass media and like studio broadcasting has more equipments than our school back in Korea. So
Definitely.
so I also came here to study that.
Awesome. Well, I knew Liz from Dongdeok Women's University, and I was in the upper grade of hers. So I saw her in class, and she was such a talented young student. She was always so motivated and passionate about every single class that she was in. So I was really like, wow, she's a really passionate student.
Thank you.
I have a really good impression of you. Were we in the same class where what was it? It was like literature?
I think it was we were both in the literature class, which is English about like American history kind of things. And then we were also in the class English speaking. Like
English speaking.
Yeah, English speech. Yeah, that class.
English speaking class. I
Yeah.
do remember.
Yeah.
Oh, to be like really frank with you, I did not enjoy the literature class. It's not my favorite thing.
Yeah.
But you were very passionate about like answering questions and everything. So I was like, oh my god, I have to do better. I have to do better. She's doing this
No.
amazing. I'm gonna fail in this class.
You're already good.
No, like literature is kind of like my weak point, because when you see like a poem, you don't like, if it's like an ancient poem, you don't know what it's talking about. You have to like kind of dissect one by one what it's supposed to mean.
Yeah.
So I struggled a lot with that class, but she was an amazing, talented student in our class. And
Thank you.
yeah, like I know you're an exchange student here. What have made you decide to come to San Angelo, Texas?
Okay, so it's a little bit funny story. You know, like SpongeBob, and there is a character called Sandy, the
Yes.
squirrel.
Yes.
And actually,
Sandy with the
this spaceship helmet.
Yes, yes.
And actually, Sandy's hometown is Texas. So I already know that the hometown of Sandy is Texas. So I was so excited to come to Texas. I was like, I'm finally in the land with the same as Sandy's homeland. So yeah, that's kind of first time I know about Texas. And also, I started to search about English accents and like other dialects, and I found Texas accent was kind of interesting. I like it.
Really?
So that's also like those two reasons are the reason why I choose Texas to came, and especially San Angelo. I think like big city is good to travel around, but if you want to concentrate more on studying, I think San Angelo is perfect place because I mean it's a good nice town and people are good, so that's why I choose San Angelo.
Yeah, San Angelo, definitely. When we think of United States and like New York and like
Yeah.
big cities, we think about all the big towers and
Yeah.
buildings and everything. But San Angelo, it's a really quiet place to start.
Yeah.
Very, very quiet. When I first got here, I remember two things. One, there's so many trucks. Number two, the sunset is beautiful.
Oh yeah, the sunset's beautiful. Especially the sky is really beautiful.
It is. It is. One thing great about in the countryside, like not in the big city, you can see all the stars that you cannot see in the city of Korea.
Yes.
The air pollution goes crazy over there.
Yeah, like to be honest, I lived in Seoul, which is the biggest city in Korea, for like my whole life.
Really?
So I only lived in the big city. So like coming in here was like my first experience to like getting out from the big city and like see stars, those kind of things. So it was kind of amazing for me.
Wait, so where did you live in Seoul?
At first I lived the place called Dongjakgu, which is near to the Hyunchungwon,
Yes.
like our national grave.
Right.
And then I moved to Tuksum Yeonju, which is like right above the Han River.
Right.
But both of them are kind of big towns, so
Wow.
I always lived in the big cities.
So you're a really big city girl than I am. Goodness gracious. Because I lived in Suwon, which is kind of like one and a half hour away from Seoul. But you're a city girl.
Yeah, kind of.
Wow. So, what made you decide to do this exchange program? That's what I wanted to ask because, you know, going to another foreign country is a really big change for you.
Yeah.
What made you decide that?
Well, first I wanted to experience about other cultures, and also I think like the best way to learn the language is to go to the country that use that language and use speak it to others. So that's also one of the reasons I choose for the exchange student. And also, as I said, I lived my whole life in Seoul, so even my university is in Seoul. So I didn't get a chance to live away from my family or my parents. So I think this is also my first time to live upon my family and like do things by myself. So
Independently?
Yeah, independently. So I think there is also a good chance for me to learn more about adults' life. So that's also one of the reasons I choose it.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Honestly. How old are you right now?
I'm 21 years old.
You're 21 years old and you decided to live to a foreign country, like move across a foreign country. That you take like plane for like 20 hours and then you decided to study in another country and build your life. I think that's amazing.
Thank you. But also my parents, especially my mom, encouraged me because her major was Chinese. And
Wow.
she also studied abroad in China. And she knew that it was best to study in the language, like the country that used that language. So she also encouraged me that if your major is English back in Korea, you need to go to US. So that's also one of the reasons I go
That's
there.
interesting. I think it's really good to have like a parent as a role model who can lead you. Actually, this is another option that you can choose for your path. And that kind of like motivates you, right? Like it gives you courage because if your parents would have said something like, hey, foreign country can be dangerous, maybe not, you know, you can stay here, then you would have felt like, yeah, maybe not. But if there's like a good role model saying that, hey, this is actually a good experience. You should go out and explore.
Yeah.
I think that is the biggest thing that encouraged me the most as well too. That's what my mom taught me as well. Yeah, I had a question. What was it? Yes. Okay, I'm zoning out. I had so many questions prepared for you because you're such an interesting person to interview. Oh yes, this was it. So when I had a class with you in Korea, you already had a really good English.
Oh, thank you.
Your language was already very well formed. Do you feel the difference after how long have you been here?
I came here last semester, so I've been here for like more than 6 months.
Yeah, so more than 6 months. Do you actually feel the difference when you're talking in English after 6 months? Or what kind of differences do you feel?
Well, to be honest, I didn't pay attention too much when I'm speaking, but I guess I became a little bit more fluent, and now I learn more about like lively language. Because like back in Korea, I just learned language from like textbook, which is like that language, but back in here now I can speak more naturally, like with the foreign students or like natives here. And yeah, I think I improved a little bit, but I still need to improve a lot. So that's why I extend one more semester here.
Yes. Yes. Because actually, Liz came up to me and asked me about extensions. So most of the exchange students, they come here for like one semester or a year semester, for a whole year. But for some students who only choose one semester and then they want to have more opportunities, they extend the period as an exchange student. And Liz was asking me questions about, hey, should I do this or not? Because, tuitions are expensive.
Yeah.
And right now, a Korean economy is not as much as good as was before
Yeah.
back in the old days. So the exchange rate is like really high
Crazy.
compared to like 10 years ago, going crazy. So she was asking me a bunch of questions like, hey, I want to have more experience, but what should I do? And I told her, just do it, because if you feel like you're going to regret that decision in the future, then just do it, even though you're going to regret doing it. And did that actually help you or not?
It helped me a lot because I have a lot of concerns like extending will be like waste of time because if I extend it, my graduate will be
Later
on. So I had a lot of concerns, but after I got after talking with you, I got more courage and I tried to extend it. And the extension, it was not a hard thing. And after that, I don't regret it.
I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
You're going through a path it can't be more better than this because you got a job at Ram TV.
Yeah.
I'm working at Ram Radio, but you got a job in a really short period of time and you're working there, you're thriving and you're creating production, videos, filming, you know how to touch the cameras, you know how to operate them. I really have a huge amount of respect in you.
Thank you.
Is there a reason why you specifically chose Ram TV for your part-time job here?
So at first I didn't know about Ram TV before, but I found the YouTube video of you, you explaining about for the exchange what to do and what you kind of recommend, and you also mentioned about audio production, video production. I searched about more, and I found Ram TV, and I was like, yeah, I think because my second major back in Korea is mass media kind of thing.
Really?
Yeah,
Is
communication.
it double major?
Yeah, I'm double majoring.
Oh.
That one, because my dream was to be a translator before AI came out.
Oh, before AI came out.
Yeah, my dream was to be an interpreter or translator, and then AI came out, and all my professor back in Korea was like, no, you cannot go there anymore. You cannot do that career.
AI's gonna do everything.
Yeah, I was like, you have to choose another thing, and I was like, what am I also interested in? And I found that I'm also interested in making videos, editing, those kind of things. I was like, and then I found Ram TV here, and I was like, yeah, maybe if I work here, I will learn some language that is used in English, and I can also have an experience of working Ram TV and working in the studio. So I was like, I should do this.
Oh, I'm so glad that somebody out there who watches my YouTube videos and have informative information, and they're every single semester new exchange students come into ASU and they say I saw you from the YouTube. And I'm like,
you're famous.
I'm not. The reason why my particular video got viral in between the exchange students is because there's not much information from a Korean student's perspective in San Angelo.
Yeah.
So I think that's why it got a lot of more views than other videos. And whenever every single semester they come up to me and say I know you from YouTube. You're the one who posted that video, right?
Yeah.
And then even from the KSA orientation the other day to promote Ram Radio, some people came up to me and said, I saw your video. I saw you, and I told my friends I saw you on YouTube, and I was like, but I'm really glad that my video helped you. Oh, thank you so much.
It was really helpful.
Thank you so much. I still regret it a lot that I haven't made more videos about ASU, but this year my plan is to put out more YouTube videos for future ASU students just like you. So hopefully that works out.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to you. So yeah, you said your dream was to become a interpreter, but then AI came out and you're like, never mind. If you do choose your future job within the mass media industry, what kind of position are you looking for?
I'm looking for producer because I also enjoy standing in front of the camera, so I don't care about that. But I think I'm more into editing, especially I like to match videos to music, those kind of things, and it's an art for me, and I also drawing things. So yeah, I think I will choose producers, those kind of things. That's what I want to do.
I see. So, I used to work at the Fox TV station, Fox West Texas, in this town. And there were multiple, like, I didn't know in the news station there would be so many paths.
Yeah.
And there are producers who manage the board, like switching the cameras and everything. That's what Harry's doing right now for our recording.
Yeah.
Say shout out to Harry. Yay! He's doing this right now. But yeah, like just like Harry, there's a part for producing. And there's also, oh no, actually, directors are
Yeah.
the ones who, what Harry's doing right now, like controlling the boards and everything.
Yeah.
And producers are the ones that they put the show in the system. So they like search for shows, like what kind of news that's going on. And there are reporters, and we call it as multimedia journalists. We
Yeah.
call it MMJ. So those are the reporters. But like when we think about news, we think about only reporters.
Yeah.
But there's so many different industry that you can just go into, and I see a bright future
Yeah.
within you. Yay! Let's see. Do you have any goals for this semester as an international student, also working as RAM TV reporter, producer? What's your goal for this year?
Well, I think my first goal is to get better in English because that's like the first reason I came here. And then also after February, I will try to get OTP and then try to find some jobs after so that I can get an internship after the spring semester. So that's my second big goal. And other than that, I want to make more international friends and like foreign friends, native friends, those kind of things because I want some more friends to speak English and also like good like relationships, those kind of things.
Oh, that's nice. Well, this is the perfect place to talk about OPT.
Yay!
Yay! So a lot of our viewers won't know about what OPT is. To briefly explain, so after 2 semesters as an exchange student, you get a qualification to get a OPT, which is a working visa kind of thing. So you get like 1 year of OPT. If you're in STEM, then you get 2 years or 3 years of OPT, I assume, after grad school. That's what I'm trying to do. And I went through OPT, so I had a work qualification, so I could work at the news station. So if you have any questions about OPT or job applying, let me know, because I applied to more than 600 positions.
Thank you.
It was painful.
Yeah, I know.
It was very painful. All of the interviews and all of the resumes and cover letters. Oof.
That's tough.
That's very tough. So let me know.
Thank you.
Have you had any, like you mentioned before this show about cultural differences? What was the biggest cultural difference that you've experienced?
I think the biggest one is like the classroom environments, like how students
Really?
react with professor. I mean, back in Korea, students were usually silent, like, and professor was the one who usually speaks through the class, and not much students like answer like professor or talk like very actively. But here, like they make jokes, like they do like fun things. They talk
Very
to
interactive.
Yeah, and sometimes they brought up like totally different topic from the class, and they start talking like that. I was like, what's going on? So I think that's like the first thing that I like think is so different from Korea, and also like the professors. I think like professor back in Korea, I think they have this more kind of professional feelings, but back here, like they make a lot of jokes. Like they act like they're friends with students, so I think they're more chill.
I think that's the biggest pros, like, pros and cons. I think this is the biggest pros about American education system. Maybe it's very related to the culture thing. For example, in Korea, we have to respect elderly.
Yeah.
So we have to use honorifics. So there's kind of like this invisible barrier that you cannot really step over,
Yeah.
because if you make jokes, it can seem as a little bit rude. It can be seen as trying to treat them as like friends, like, it can be seen off as I'm not respecting them. But since there's no honorifics here and it's more of like a friendly environment to share opinions very freely without any honorifics, I think that's the reason why we get to share more different perspectives, different opinions, different point of views of, the education.
Yeah.
So I think that's a really good part of American culture.
Yeah. And yeah, so I think it's so different. There's a fun episode. I'm not sure it's fun, but so like for me, like back in Korea, we have to honor our professors.
Right,
And
right.
we usually call them like professors, blah blah blah. But here, like some of the professors or instructors, they just call me like my first name and
Call me
like,
David,
yeah,
call me Ben, you know.
like that. I was like, oh, but for me, it sounds so rude. So last semester, like one of my instructor was Mr. Donald Pluckno, and he told our students like to call this Don. Like now our rule.
That's a culture shock.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah, now this semester our rule changed, so we have to call him Mr. Pluckno. But anyway, he's not a fan of it. But anyway, so we had to call him Don. But for me, it sounds so rude. So like even though he allows us to call him Don, I couldn't call him. So whenever I had something to talk to him, I just stand in front of his office until he noticed me, so that I don't need to call his name. Like I just stand in front or just knock the door until he knows. So that now I'm more used to call his name.
It's so funny because, you know, when you first come to the States, and I think Harry also understands this culture because he knows Japanese culture, right? Yeah. I think his parents were Japanese. Okay, yeah. So he understands this culture where Asian cultures, when you just say hi to professors that are older than you, it feels like you're doing something very wrong.
Yeah.
Because in Korea, there's, you know, 안녕 is for friends.
Yeah.
And 안녕하세요.
Yeah, we have to bow to the professor.
안녕하세요. 안녕하세요. Liz professor. 안녕하세요. But here, it's just hi.
Yeah.
Hey. I feel like I'm just sup, you know?
Yeah, like culture shock. Like, am I rude?
No, you're not. But I think it's a little bit more politer in West Texas because there's like, yes, ma'am, yes, sir,
Yeah.
you know, these kind of stuff. So I feel a little bit more safer to like, you know, speak English to them. But sometimes when I say like, hey, like I feel very rude. I know it's not, but
Yeah.
so that's a cultural thing. We actually, the time has flew like really, really fast. We only have like 6 minutes left.
Oh,
But
wow.
is there anything you want me to listen to your struggles and give you some advices about?
Yeah, I still have some problems with calling names like to the
Right.
like person. So sometimes like some of them allow us to call by their name, but sometimes it sounds like rude and we have to call by their last name. So I want to know like which is like the safe way to call like someone who we first met, or like so like sometimes I just call by their first name, but the other students will call their last name by like putting Mr. or Mrs. in front of. So I just want to know like which is the polite way, and also kind of saying hi to professor is also okay, or is there a more polite way? Those kind of things.
I would say, I think it's totally fine to say hi and call by their name. I think it will really depends on the person. For example, if the professor has announced to you that, hey, I'm not comfortable with calling you guys with my first name, just call me Mr. Da-da-da. Or if they actually just told you officially that I want you guys to call by my first name, Jane. My name is Jane. Like, I like Jane. Don't call me this. Then I think it'll be way much better to, you know, call them by what they prefer. Because I think in America, there's a thing to respect their own personality. So, for example, if they want to be preferred to be called that way, I think it's more politer to call them that way because that makes them more comfortable. But if they haven't like said anything, I would just go safer way, Mr., Mrs., da-da-da. Or just sir, ma'am. We're in West Texas. We can do that. Because I didn't learn my first language from West Texas. Sir and ma'am first felt like very flirty to me because I learned English from another country. But here it's more polite.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would go with whatever they prefer with their name. And was the other question? To say hi, right?
Yeah.
I think hi is fine. But,
Really?
you know, if it's morning, afternoon, we have good morning, good afternoon, good evening. We have more of a polite and classy way, demure way. So, yeah, I would do that.
Thank you.
I think that's a really specific questions that many people can be very confused about
Yeah.
when they first come to the States because we know textbook English, but these are the real questions that you might struggle inside your head.
Yeah. can I have one more question?
Of course, we have like 3 minutes left. We can do this.
Yeah, we can do this. So I also want to know how to react when some of my friends say "What's up?" Like for me, like do I have to literally say "What's up?" or how do I react? I don't know.
So who calls you what's up?
Like one of my coworkers in Ram TV, I just walked into Ram TV office and she was like, "What's up?" And I was like, I came here to work. And I was like,
So you thought it was literally what's going on?
Kind of.
Oh, so this is a real quick thing that we went to Olive Garden last time. So this is really funny. This is really funny and cute thing that Liz and her friend made a mistake of. So this waitress came up to Liz and they were grinding the cheese and they said, "Tell me when," and they said, "When." And I thought it was the most adorable thing I've ever seen in my life.
She said, "Tell me when."
Tell me when. Yeah, exactly. Literally, tell me when. And you said when. So I thought it was so good. So just like that, you know, not to be more like, just think of it as, you know, when someone says "What's up," not to be more literally what I'm doing. Tell them like, "Oh, I'm just working on da da da." Like, "What's up?" You know, just. It's kind of like a greeting in a polite way, but more casual.
Yeah. Okay.
So when someone says "What's up," you can just honestly, if it was a guy, I would say like "Sup." But if it was a girl, like if some girl said "What's up," I would say like, "Hey, what's up? How you doing? I'm just working on my da da da. How's your day been going?" You know.
Okay.
You know, just a casual, polite way of going back and forth.
Okay. Now I know how to react. Thank you.
Now when you say when the Olive Garden says,
yeah.
"Tell me when."
When? Or like no, like
I'm good.
I'm good.
I'm
Oh,
good.
Okay.
That's enough. That's enough.
I learned something today.
Great. That's the most adorable thing I've ever seen in my life. But we're still learning.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you so much for spending your time at Rem Radio. And it was such a delightful experience for me for my first show. How was your experience at Rem Radio?
Oh, it was really fun. I highly recommend people to come out and just chat here. Like at first I was a little bit nervous, but yeah, it's just fun chatting.
You heard that. You heard that. She said it was fun.
Yeah.
So come out to the studio and chat with Plain Jane.
Yeah.
I know my DJ name is Plain Jane, but I'm not as plain as you can think, as much as you think. So come out to the show and thank you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.